first 10 seconds of the video ever get recorded or not. There's been a few times when the first 10 seconds, possibly even 15 seconds of the videos were not recorded. And so this is why, as recently as today, but also it's been a couple of months now that I've been doing this, I've realized that the best course of action is to just wait it out. Wait for those first 10 to 15 seconds of the video to just pass and then start the video. So we're doing that today. Well, today we have a bunch of cool things. So the first part of the video is going to be like 3 different sets of parts of the video. We're going to do an unboxing here. We're going to do a fun unboxing here, designed for the purposes of being entertaining, but also maybe satisfying as well, because there's going to be bits and pieces. I don't think I'm going to need, well, I may or may not need my trusty knife today, but the thing that we're going to be opening usually does not require a whole lot of knifage. So maybe it'll be fine the way it is. That'll be part 1. Then, as I said before, we're always going to be, hopefully have enough battery to run and fly a few fun planes. But then there's part 2 of the video, which is going to be this. And you may not want to be here for this part because it's going to be triggering a lot of people when I say the things that I say. So if you want to skip that part of the video, just skip that part of the video. But for now, we're going to get ready. And we're going to start a quick double live. We're going to do a quick double live today. It's going to be part on TikTok and part it's going to be here on the conniving YouTube. And before I do this unboxing, I'm going to show you some interesting stats from my life. Here are some interesting stats. So the YouTube stats are always what the YouTube stats are. You guys will be able to see it. Look at that. Take a look at that. It says, it's hard to see, but you know, you can kind of make it out if you squint your eyes a little bit. It says 1,587. We had already gotten to the point where we were way past 1,590. So we'd gone past that, but we started losing people. And what that is the algorithm just going through some of the people who have subscribed, and they just bump them off, just like they always bump me off of the Divina A or the Is Vlog or the Dronixar. There's a bunch of small channels that I follow, Demari Dandy. There's a bunch of really cool other channels that I follow and that appear right behind there. They're on this wall here, and I watch them. And this keeps happening over and over and over on the YouTube. The algorithm will just at random, and I know it does it to trigger me because that's what the YouTube algorithm does it, but it just bumps people off. And it's obviously done this to some of the subscribers that came and took the time to watch my videos and press the subscribe button. They're disappearing from here too. So anyway, this is something that happens a lot to the small channels, and a lot of other small channels that I communicate with on a regular basis have been reporting the same issues. But with that said, you can take a look at the TikTok. And over here on the TikTok, pretty much for everyone that has been bumped off the YouTube, at least 3 or 4 has jumped over here. So this is why I tell guys, on some other platforms, you have attainable goals, right? Attainable goals, which means if you put in the work and the hours, there's a chance that you might get somewhere. On the YouTube, for some people who are considered to be deplorable or whatever, I don't know. They're treating me like Andrew Tate. I'm not saying Andrew Tate is good or bad or anything. I'm just saying that for literally not doing anything, I'm being treated like Andrew Tate on the YouTube. So anyway, so as you can see here on the left, this is my amazing, and thanks to all the awesome people who've been helping me out here with this. There's some really nice people who've just, some of them don't even watch my stuff. They just like, okay, well, this guy, he's struggling, and so they helped me out. And this is why, as you can see here on the stats, and these are live stats, I can go to somewhere else, and then I can go press here, and you'll see that this is a live stat. Oh, look, as we were doing right now, someone awesome just showed up and said, okay, well, I'm just going to follow this guy. There you go. Does this happen on the YouTube? Oh, buddy, it does not happen on YouTube. But anyway, we're gonna get on with the YouTube thing. And again, as I said, guys, it's important. It's important to notice this kind of stuff, especially if you are a young, new content creator. Again, for me, it doesn't matter anymore. Like I've been on this thing for forever, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I have other things that I do in my life right now, so I don't even really care. But for those people who really need this to motivate them forward and to create the next technological fantastic thing or whatever, like if you guys are me, like I don't know, 16 years ago, me 16 years ago, if you were like me 16 years ago trying to create the latest and greatest Bumpaflex that was supposed to stop people from dying in car crashes, or at least limit their death rate, then you probably want to learn this stuff, and it'll help you out. So anyway, let's get right on to the next part of the thing where as I said before, I'm going to do the unboxing here for the Apple products. Don't worry, it's not for me. It's a gift for someone else. I don't get to keep this one. Okay, so let's start the double live. Is this working? I think it's working. Yeah, old people trying to remember how to press buttons. Okay, we should be good. We should be good. So double live is about to start. We can do the unboxing, hopefully on 2, and then we'll talk about all the stuff that triggers people. So maybe don't watch that bit. Skip that bit and come back later when it's about flying planes and stuff. Ooh, this is exciting, guys. This is exciting. Thank you again for everybody who's showing up to see what is going on here. We're going to do a quick unboxing of an Apple product, and we all know how much people love their Apple products, as well as how satisfying it is to open up an Apple product. So let's do that right now. Here be the Apple products that we're talking about here. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's pretty amazing. What are these? They call them AirPods. AirPods. And what is it? Tim, our favorite chef, our favorite chef, is amazing. And together with his team of laborious individuals, they've created the latest and greatest AirPods. So we're going to do a quick unboxing on the AirPods right here, right now. Before we do, let's see some of the features that they have here in the AirPods. It says AirPods Pro 2nd generation. Can't wait until the Avatar 2nd generation Gen 2 comes out, but that would be cool. Still waiting for that product to come in. Maybe we'll get an Avatar pretty soon from the DJI. But anyway, AirPods Pro 2e generation. Oh wait. Avec boîtier de charge MagSafe. I don't know. That's probably in French. Is it in other languages, or this is what? Oh, it's in different languages, and they even have, I would like to say Japanese or Chinese. I think it's probably Japanese. You guys can tell me in the comments if that's Japanese or Chinese. I don't know. It looks more like Japanese. It's more angular. All right, so now I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up because I know that you guys want to hear the incredible and satisfying sound of me ripping these things here. So we're going to do that real quick. So shh, shh. Hold your mouth. Hold your mouth. Okay, so now that you heard that very satisfying thing right there, I went and I did it wrong. Part of the tab here is stuck on. Look at this thing. Oh, wait, in Marco Review's amazing style, I was able to remove a tab, but not fully remove the tab. So, wow, that was impressive, impressive. Way to do a presentation. Super professional. But now, I'm going to shut up again because you guys want to hear how the box comes out of the box or whatever. Let's put this thing on something else. Otherwise, the nice, amazing people from TikTok are not going to be able to see the box if it's on the ground like that. And we're going to try this again, okay? Okay, I'm gonna try to be quiet. I'm gonna try to be quiet. Ready? Was that an enjoyable sound? I think so. I think so. Enjoyable. Let's try this one more time. Wow. Wow, guys. Wow, guys. So this is the designed by Apple in California. At least they say that's true. I don't know if that's true. Let's hope it's true. Let's hope it's true. It says a bunch of instruction manuals come in here in different languages, I guess. Compliance information, safety handling information, and warranty summary. You get all these amazing things. I'm sure nobody reads them, but you get them. You get them, and that's all that matters. And then you have a simple instruction manual here on how to put things together. Let's show the lovely TikTok crowd as well. Okay, here we go. Awesome. By the way, there's more people on TikTok watching, of course, than there will ever be on the YouTube. And even if there were people on the YouTube watching, I wouldn't be able to tell. They wouldn't let me know. They wouldn't let me know. They wouldn't want the fame to go to my head like Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate. They wouldn't want me to have the experience of glorious experience of finding out that you're a real tool. I know that it's a secret. I know that I'm a tool already. I don't need the fame and the glory to find out that I'm a complete tool. That guy apparently was amazing. He was a chess master, a real mastermind. The grifting. Oh, the grifting. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet again because we're gonna try to listen to this nice tape come off the AirPods. Is it AirPods? Do they call those AirPods? AirPods, right? AirPods? Yeah, just making sure. Shh. Knocked over the camera. Knocking over the camera. Okay, shh. This is hard for me. I have to be quiet. I did it. I did it. I was able to be quiet for a couple of seconds. It's amazing. You should see me in real life. I'm mute. Anyway, so there we go. There we go, guys. These are the AirPods. They automatically attach onto things. There's some charge already in there. So remember that. Maybe if you're doing a live stream and you turn these on, there's a chance that the Bluetooth might just work and mess with your live stream. I don't know. I think it did at one point. There was another one that I did a while back where I tried these or similar. These are the latest and greatest. I probably had the ones that were not the latest and greatest that I reviewed a while back. But anyway, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Is there anything else in the box? Let's find out. Lifting the little lid thing there. And underneath, you will not find a charger thing, but you will find a charging cable. And it is a USB-C to Lightning thingy-mapoodle. And there's a connector slot there that you can stick that into. Anything else that is super fascinating? There's this little thing here, and this little thing here has extra ear, the little gummy bits that go in your ear, just in case the ones that you have installed don't fit your ears, or you want to modify something, or you lose one of those. They have some spare sets inside. Okay, so there we go. We did the unboxing of the AirPods, and aside from the little kerfuffle in the beginning, where I didn't really remove the tabs correctly, everything else went pretty smoothly. I hope it was as satisfying for you guys as it was for me. And I'll put this back in the box and this on top. You have to be good at reboxing things when they don't belong to you, and then it's really a gift for someone else. as well as in the case that you can't afford to keep it, and then you have to give it back to the company. Either way. These were the AirPods, as you can see here. I think they're retailing around $250 plus taxes and death and stuff. If you live in California, everything's worse. Everything's worse, as they tell me. Okay, with that done, we may have reached the point of triggering. I don't know if we should. I'm kind of on the fence here. I'm kind of on the fence if I really want to talk about training the algorithm like I did this morning, and talking about Andrew Tate and all this stuff here. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if I should do that. Oh man. Anyway, if anybody is on the TikTok and they want to jump over to the YouTube channel, you can, because it's just hard to do this thing where I turn the paper and do stuff. So in the modern world, if you have double devices, if you have two devices, two screens, you could be watching the TikTok, and on the other device, you could be watching the YouTube. And that's kind of a good way to do it. So you can see how stupid I am in my face on one screen in nice clear vision. And then on the other screen, you can see what's going on here. Because later on, I'm going to be jumping into the simulator. There's this cool thing called the Real Flight Evolution Simulator, and it allows you to fly all kinds of amazing vehicles with a thing that some people used to call RC back in the day, but I think they call it remote control now. I don't know. Everyone has a different definition for these things, but they're cool and they're fun, and I'll be doing that. So anyway, I don't know if I really don't know. It's usually I'm just like, just forget about it. Just do it, man. But today the topic is a little bit osé. It's a little bit osé. I don't know if I should do it. I'm really on the fence there. I'm really on the fence. We're going to be talking about this stuff here, and although I can't code, we may be talking in code. Farmer's tools. As you guys know, if you guys don't know, well, if you're new to the channel, I am a vegan, so I am big, obviously, on farmers and all the cool things that they're able to do and create. And we all need our vegetables, our fruits and vegetables and stuff. But we also need our tools to make sure that we can create those things. But anyway, we're going to talk in code today. There's a lot of cool things about farmers. Some of the farmer qualities are, and I Googled this, is some certain character traits are patience, hope, courage, and a strong work ethic seem to be required for the job of farming. The economic full stop of recent month has helped us all develop a couple of muscles in our heads, like the strengths of patience, courage, moderation, and temperance. Anyway, there are lots of interesting tools that you can get as a farmer, but today we are mostly going to be talking about two tools, and those are going to be the shovel and the hoe. I mean, what others could you possibly be talking about if you're going to be talking about what happened here in this show here, the Saucecast with Adam. Shout out to Adam for a cool show. Shout out to, obviously, PBD, Patrick, from Valuetainment, and all that good stuff. But anyway, during that amazing event that happened online, if you guys haven't seen it, you might want to see it, but you will be triggered. So I always tell this to the people. If you don't want to make the people that you don't particularly like make endless amounts of money by triggering you, what you do is you just ignore them. Because the first response for anybody in the world when it comes to the YouTube algorithm is, well, they might see somebody like these two dudes. Let's see, these two dudes. So 1 and 2, you might see these two dudes. You might recognize these two dudes. And you may love them and you may hate them. I'm not here to tell you what to do and what to say. What you do, I do me. But let's say you got really triggered by these two guys and you thought, oh, they were horrible individuals. This is what you're supposed to do. Ignore them and go find other people that are not so horrible online and go support those people by, commenting on their videos, by pressing like on their videos, by subscribing to their videos. What you don't do is you go to the two people that triggered you and that you don't want to keep making like millions of dollars, for instance. You don't go to their channels and do that, because then you're helping them. You're supporting them. But anyway, human nature is really hard to work with, and so your natural response is going to be triggered, go into outrage mode, and then to go to the channels like that, and then start typing in Google the names of the people that you saw on the channel that really triggered you, and then go off there and then just run your mouth on their channel. You are helping them. Don't do that. Don't do that. So with that said, there's a couple of things that they said during this this show that was kind of interesting to me. They threw around some stats, right? They had the female stats, they had the male stats, they had these pie charts and things going on there. So today we're gonna ask you guys, the viewers, as well as we're just gonna try to answer in a way without really answering it. What is the value, right? What is the value of a hoe? You know what I'm saying? They talked a lot about hoes, and we all know that hoes are very useful in our farming daily, right? We need our hoes. But we also need our shovels. So a lot of people are going to say, well, like a high value woman is a shovel, conservative, and she's going to be fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, all that stuff that you want, right? Or at least that's what they said in the show. And in a male, the true value, like a high value man, is going to have those things, those other qualities, which is they're going to have money, they're going to have game, they're going to have muscle, and they're going to have frame or hold frame. There is something about hold frame, which means to hold boundaries. Don't go out on Craigslist and buy yourself a photo frame. That's probably not going to work. You can if you want, but that's for pictures. It doesn't mean, to hold frame. So just in case you were wondering. So one of the curious things that they said was that when it comes to becoming a high value man, you need to have a certain amount of experience with hoes. She's like, okay. So then there's a whole bunch of there's stats being displayed on that matter. And then the issue was that the same two people that said, well, yeah, and again, I'm not against alphas. If you're an alpha, I'm not against you. I'm just against certain alphas and certain stereotypes and things that they do, and some things that they say, which is ridiculous, right? On one end, they're saying, yeah. Well, you have to go through so many hoes in order to become a high value man. But then they're like, well, then they go, I will never marry a hoe. I'm all about the shovels. And so all the hoes, right? If you look at it from this perspective, all the hoes help to prop up a high value man so that he can be a high value man, but then they're trash, according to what is being said in the show. So the hoes are trash, even though they were the ones that gave the experience to the high value man. So then the high value man can go out there and be a high value man, but they're trash. So anyway, I thought that was a little bit curious. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Because then the same high value men that are so smug, right? And they are so arrogant, go on TV and say that the hoes are trash, that they will only marry a shovel. And those same men are the ones that cry themselves to sleep when they realize that the shovel that they, for instance, married can't satisfy them the way their hoe does. So maybe they should have just married themselves a hoe. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to talk about today. But also, the other thing that I want to talk about is that there's hoes and there's hoes, right? There's different levels of homemanship. And sometimes I feel like they say, and this is the part where I start flying planes, hopefully. It's the part where I start flying planes. So if you guys want to see what's going on the plane, and you want to switch over to the YouTube channel, you can do that. It's just type in Marco Reviews and then find me live over there, and you guys can see the planes that I fly. So one of the things that you will notice, is that they basically like to paint the hose with a very wide brush. And sometimes there are some people on the interweb who are not really hoes at all. In fact, they're just some young students who realized that they can make more money on the internet doing some stuff, entertaining some people, and they can make more money that way than they could if they were to take a regular job. And in doing so, they're not really increasing their body count, because that's another thing that was explained in the video, right? Like there's a thing called a body count, right? If you are entertaining human beings on the internet, not physically in the real world, you are not really increasing your body count. Are you? Are you now? So can they really still call you a hoe? Questionable. It's a little bit questionable there, right? It's a little bit questionable there. Are you a hoe because of body counts? Or are you a hoe for just putting a couple of bucks away for your college tuition someday or something, because maybe your parents can't afford to help you out with that, and maybe you are a very good student, but you just don't have the money to pay for your higher education. So you're spending a couple of hours per day on the internet entertaining a couple of fellows, and people are saying that you're a hoe, but you're not, because there's no real body count being added to the situation there. You're just entertaining some people online. So are you a hoe? Or are we broadening the brush of the hoemanship to a little bit too wide a spectrum? I don't know. It's a question for you. I don't have an answer for that. But it's something to think about. It's something to think about. Something to think about. And that kind of ties back into what I was talking about before this morning when I did the other live stream about technology and stuff, is what happens with all of these institutions, schools and things that are really highly underfunded, right? In the modern world, we know that schools and teachers are not really getting paid their worth and stuff. So what happens when the old generation that was so good at teaching the kids suddenly retires, and a lot of the people who are currently working now in the industry decide that it's just easier to do something fun on the internet, or eBay or something else, build a business online, and they just don't want to teach. And we end up with really bad institutions for teaching. What happens? It is something that we're basically facing in the modern world right now, and of course not so much in the high-end districts, like in the more high-end districts and zip codes and stuff like that. You still have decent education there, which is why so many people want to buy into those neighborhoods. But on a global scale stuff, and on a state per state scale, as more and more of the older generation of people who were in it as a vocation, pretty much, because with that kind of money that an instructor gets, it's getting more and more to the point where it's a vocation, no longer really a job, Because, like if you need two instructors, to be married together in order to pay the bills, that's kind of a problem. That's kind of a societal problem right there. But anyway, guys. So with that said, let's talk about something a little bit more, more relaxing, if you will. Let's end the live stream on a more relaxing note, right? On a more relaxing note, because sometimes happiness can be found in the most unexpected places, in doing the most unexpected jobs. For instance, there's a bunch of people out there who are doing jobs, for instance, bartending or something, and there was actually a guy back in the day who I met in the animation field, and he was just a really cool guy, but also he just loved animation work, and he was so passionate about the things that he was doing that he was willing to, from time to time, get a pay cut, do maybe less work, or work for a slightly less high-end company, just so he could practice or continue to work his craft, rather than becoming a supervisor and having to supervise others doing the work, because he was just a doer and he just loved what he was doing so much, which is really cool. I think that's something to think about. That's really cool. Is sometimes people are just in love with what they do, and so sometimes they're just so in love with what they do that it's more about doing what they do, and it's not really about the money. But at the same time, as I always like to tell people, which is really important in this day and age, is you can only be able to do stuff like that if you are on the high end of the spectrum. Like you got to be one of the top people in order to be able to pull that kind of stuff off, because most people, they got to work for a living, and so if you don't have the money, then you're in trouble. Without the money in a capitalistic society, without money in a capitalistic world, you can't do what you love. You got to do what pays the bill. So there. It's another thing that we always have to think about, right? In the current state of our realities. But also, there's another thing that's important to say, and that is that sometimes if you are, let's say, a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, there's ways that you can create value for your family other than making money, which is, be respectful and be there for the person that you love, but also you could save money. You could save money by learning new skills. Learn new skills and become a better helper, let's say, at home. You could be a better entertainer. Like, if you wanted to make your family laugh more, you could learn how to tell stories and anecdotes and stuff like that. You could learn plumbing and save your spouse or your wife from having to do and hire someone else to do that kind of job too. Save money wherever you can. You could be a chef. You could learn to cook. So many things that you can do that don't necessarily add money to the bank, but they add value to the family. And so there's that. And again, in the other days, we also talked about one of the issues with are you rich, but are you still a scrub kind of situation, or are you the modern day slave owner? Because yes, you're giving your wife $4,000. That's a lot of money. That is 4 times universal basic income. That is a lot of money to give your wife. But are you giving it to your wife, or are you giving it to yourself? And what I mean by that is, are you just giving your wife $4,000 in the bank and saying, honey, well, listen, if I give you this money, I need you to be fit. I need you to, have your hair done in a certain way, blah, 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 blah. Or, and so basically all of that money, all the $4,000 goes into that. Or are you just giving her $4,000 and saying, these are my requirements, and so long as you stay within these requirements, which is what pleases me, then you can use the money any way you want. Are you that kind of man, or are you the other kind of man? Because if you're the kind of man who's giving her 4,000 bucks, that's a lot of money, but it's all about you, because I want you to have this hair, because I want you to have your eyebrows done this way, because I want you to be waxed like this, so on and so forth. Are you still a scrub, or are you a modern day slave owner? Just saying. You might not want to hear it, but just saying. So anyway, with that said, guys, I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic week. We're back. And I don't know. I'm thinking about possibly doing some more alpha-ish things, like doing some more workouts. Because let's face it, I'm a fat vegan. And that's another way that I could improve the value of what I do at home. I could be less of a fat vegan by putting on a little bit of muscle. Adding a little bit more tone wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. So we might do some videos on that. I was planning to do those anyway. But then, things got in the way. I started doing more technology videos and stuff, and was having a good time with that. So we kind of put those videos on the back burner, if you will. So maybe no, just no, go back. Okay, that's the bird I wanted to fly. I wanted to fly the E-Flight F-15 Eagle 64 millimeters EDF. So I'm gonna go do that. Oh, excuse me. We're starting off in safe. And let's see if we can do what I usually do, which is I tell you, I'm going to play pool or chess, and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to do this move. So I'm going to circle here to the left, and then I'm going to try to come in for a landing in safe and see if we can do that. At least that is what I'm trying to do, and that was pretty good. Take off again. We will circle to the right here and try to do this one more time, see if we can do a landing on this side. Zero throttle, coming in very gently, and see if we can do another landing this way. Not too bad. I was a little bit close to the greenery over there. And now we're going to go back up, and we're going to try to see if we get... Okay, we're out of safe. So this is now... All bets are off. All bets are off. If I do something crazy, I'm no longer assisted by the machine. And cannot even do a landing. In this case, I'm going to try to do a landing. There's not a specific kind of landing that I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get a landing, and that was a mess. That was a mess there. Okay, let's go back in here real quick. I'm going to zoom in. Can't believe I did that. I was so into the thing that I was saying before that I forgot to do a quick zoom in on the cameras and stuff here. Okay, let's quickly, just in case you guys jumped on the TikTok, just in case, and you wanted to see the planes, you can jump over to YouTube. I know it's unpopular. I know we all hate the YouTube, but it's hard for me to do this on the TikTok. So that's why I'm doing it on the YouTube. I'm trying to create some kind of path to success for the YouTube channel. It's impossible, but we're going to try anyway. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, up and away. Up and away. Ooh, that was bad. Lost control of the plane. We're going to try at least one decent landing. Can we get one decent landing in not safe? We are now in AS3X. And one of the biggest issues with this is with these planes is you can't really tell if they're facing up or down when they're so far away. They're like a little dot on the screen. Oh no, that was a bounce and land, and continue flying. That was bad. Let's come back to me and destroy the plane. That is how much cooler it is. This is why I tell you guys how cool it is to have safe on. You don't have to be a professional pilot in order to fly in safe. There's so much good assistance that goes into that safe system. And now, whoa, I have not practiced on this plane for a few days, and it can obviously shows I can't really do a decent landing. We'll try again. I'm going to try to turn back to the runway and lift enough and aim, lift that nose, come down, come down, come down. Ooh, that was on the grass. You could consider that a grass ops, but that was not a good landing. That was just not a good landing, guys. That was just not as good as I wish it had been. Wish it had been good. It was not. Okay. Okay, 0 throttle. Pull the nose up. Relax. It's okay. That was okay. I like that grass land. I was aiming. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was aiming for the field, for the landing strip. I was aiming for the landing strip, but instead, well, what is it doing? The plane was doing a little interesting jump up and down. It looked more like one of those RC cars from Red Cat Racing that bounce. I don't know if you guys have seen those. Those are pretty cool. They're about $400 US. Yeah, anywho. I am totally lost. I'm not able to bring this back. What do you do? What do you do? Oh no. Just bring it back to safe. The plane will self-level and be more willing to come back to you, I would say. Okay. All right. It's coming down. I'm going to get it out of safe now that it's sort of balanced and see if we can get some kind of a landing. Oh, bounce and land. Bounce and land, bounce and land. That was just bad. But I cheated to get it to aim at the runway, and that helped for sure. Let's see if we can do a. That was terrible too. Anyway, this is not one of the easier planes to fly, if you will. The E-flite F-15 Eagle 64mm EDF is not one of the easiest planes to fly. You could fly the Aero Scout, you could fly the Habu, and I can't remember if this one was easier. I think the E-flite F-16 Thunderbird 70mm EDF is slightly easier to fly. Let's see if it's true. I can't remember for sure. But it has another issue, which is it will tip a little bit. So if you give it a lot of throttle on the ground, it might tip a little bit over. So watch out for that. However, I can't remember exactly, but I think the last time I flew it, I was able to land it a little bit better than the other one that we just flew. And I was wrong about that too. So let's see. Can we do a landing in safe? First of all, let's make sure that we can do a landing in safe. If we can do a landing in safe, then we can jump over to the other way of doing things. Okay. Back, and down. We're going to aim at the runway. And the idea is that now I'm going to try to lift the nose just enough to get a... Yeah, that was pretty greasy smooth. Again, that was me in safe. Let's get out of safe and see if I can do anything even remotely similar to that. We are now aimed correctly, sort of at the runway. 0 throttle, coming back up a little bit. There, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good landing for me, not for you. Maybe you're an expert. You can do way better landings than me. But at my skill level, which is just above, I would say, beginner level. that was a pretty good landing for me. That is something that I can take home and say, hey, that was a pretty good landing for my level of skill. Okay, so now I'm going to aim back at the runway. Up, 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 up. Can we land it on the strip? Nope, it's still on the grass over there. See that? That's one of the things that you will notice is if you are a beginner or just a little bit better than beginner, you may not be able to land when you're in AS3X, you may not be able to land exactly where you want to land. You may overshoot the runway, which I've done considerable amount of times, or you may end up at the very far corners of the runway or something else, because you really need to know how to control your plane. But if you are in safe, you can get away with a lot, and you may even get a nice, beautifully done, greasy landing. There we go. That's not too bad. Again, one of the things that you'll notice, you see, look, it tipped. If you try to tip that plane, if you're taxiing on the ground and you try to turn that plane fast, you will destroy it. You will tip it. I'm going to bring it to give it some thrust and bring the plane closer so you guys can take a quick look at this plane. And it is gorgeous, and you will see it right now. There it is. Look how cool that plane looks. It looks really cool. So with that, guys, I want to thank you guys once more for being so amazing, popping on the show and supporting. And with that, I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow or something. But for now, have a great day, guys. You deserve it. And yeah, I will see you soon. Like the big baboon that I am. Awesome. So, looks like that worked. Again, don't expect to see stats on this thing. You won't see it because it is the... If I'd done it on a different phone, it probably would have some stats for you. But the iPhone 5, the original, is now a completely almost useless phone because so many of the apps companies are not really creating the software for it anymore. In fact, YouTube is no longer working on that phone at all. I can't even log in. I can't even log in. So with that said, do a quick zoomage on that cool plane. Let's talk about what plane it is before we leave here. Whoa. It's one of the things that annoys me is I will press buttons, but then I will accidentally swerve. There we go. So what you guys just saw me fly or crash for the most part was the one, the only E-flite F-16 Thunderbirds 70mm EDF. And today in the show, we were wondering, and we kind of tried to figure out what the definition is of, again, farmer's tools of a hoe. It'll be this, just in case you were wondering what a hoe looks like. This is what a hoe looks like. So we were trying to figure out what Miss Santa looks like and why she makes Father Christmas jump up and down, screaming, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. So that was one of the things that we did today in the show. That was part 2 of the show. In part 3 of the show, we came back here to discuss awesome planes and stuff. And so with that said, again, as always, I will thank the usual suspects, although I think I just lost one of my stickers. Where'd I do the sticker? Here it is. Let's thank Spectrum for being awesome. Let's thank Horizon Hobby for providing us with this amazing Real Flight Evolution so that you guys can watch this ridiculous show where I rant about the most ridiculous stuff. And again, I'm going to thank Captain Drone and his beautiful family for sending us cool stuff. And with all of that said, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Remember, be squirrely and be ballsy, but do something good. Do something good, because there's plenty of ballsy people doing bad stuff. So let's try to tip the scale in the other way. Let's try to skip Let's try to. I can't do this. I can't do this. Let's try to tip the scale in a better direction.